Okay, well, good evening, everybody. This evening, as our special guest, we have Liz Clarke. Now, Liz is a businesswoman and entrepreneur in her own right. She's a presenter on the television and she's a makeup artist. But she's also one half of a business with her husband called The Free Life with Dan and Liz, you might have heard of. They also have the VIP life. And it goes on, but I'll let Liz tell you all about that. Thank you so much, Liz, for coming on and agreeing to this call. It seems like it's been a long time coming and I've really been looking forward to it. Anyway.
Thank you for that introduction, and thanks everybody for joining me this evening and taking time out of your day to listen to what I've got to say. So yeah, as Denny said, pretty good introduction of me. Yeah, I am a coach and mentor. I also used to be in network marketing myself. So we had a really successful business. We were in like the third level of 4 within our company, like in the top 1% of our company at the time. We then left that, and now our full-time job is to coach and mentor network marketers and entrepreneurs how to grow their brand online in an authentic way without being, in my words of my husband, a spammy dick. So, so basically, that's what we do now. We have a really successful online coaching group where we teach all sorts of social media strategies. So kind of what I specialize in is really Instagram. And it's a platform that I have grown to love. And I don't know if lots of you agree, but do many of you kind of find it a bit challenging sometimes, and you're not getting the likes, or you're not getting the comments, and you kind of feel like what the hell is the point of all of this? It's kind of like that, but you see people having so much success on it, and you're kind of like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. Here's the thing, Instagram works if you work it, right? And it's the same with any social media platform. So my question is to you, are you in Instagram? Are you using Instagram? Or are you just in Instagram? Because the thing is, when you start acting and putting strategies in place and knowing what you're consistently doing, this is when you're going to see the results. And I encourage you all as well to just kind of, if you've got any questions as well, like, please, like, I want to give you some like steps and tips and things that you can implement, but also I want you to ask any questions as well. So I'm just kind of having a little scroll. So Denny, if you can shout out or anything kind of questions as we're going along, and what I'll do is I'll go through some steps that I know will be really helpful for you all today. But if I go through everything, every single step of like my course, and I'll be here till like midnight. So I'll just give you some, because Denny said that you guys are particularly keen on knowing like how to actually theme, like brand yourself, but also how to brand your own personal brand. So what I thought I'd kick off with is basically just talking to you initially about your bio and things like that, and thinking about, have you actually got your bio right? Because this is the first thing that people see when they come to your profile, right? So what they want to see is something that's going to entice them and speak directly to them. Okay, so you need to be positioning yourself as a solution for their problem. And this is where you need to think about, yes, you might be in direct sellers. Yes, you might be selling wine, but think about the things that are associated with wine, but also with yourself, because you don't just sell wine, right? You're your own personal brand, and we all are. We all have our own personal brands. So kind of get thinking, and I always encourage my clients to think about 9 to 12 things that are associated with your brand. So for example, we own the VIP Life, and we're a coaching business and an affiliate program. But that isn't just what we do. So we've just got back from traveling the world for the last 11 months. So travel is a big key factor in our life. And we want other people to have more time freedom, more love, more happiness, all of that stuff. So it's important for me in my Instagram to convey that message of love, happiness, family, like those emotions. So what emotions do you provoke in your audience, in your potential target market? So think about them. And then everything in social media as well is about, you know, social proof. So what can you have? What social proof have you got in your social media? And this isn't an Instagram thing that can help attract your ideal clients. So how have you helped people? Do you have testimonials that you can share? Do you have things where you've really, you know, you've created some real fun in someone's life? Perhaps you've created a you know, more of a social atmosphere in their life, or whatever it is, or perhaps that you've helped them reach a level of success that means that they can now leave their full-time job, or whatever it is. So think about that. Also, have fun with it. Like, social media is fun, and people do not want to be sold to all the time. Well, any of the time, to be honest. So really think about yourself as a valuable resource. You know, you want to be providing value for your audience. They want to think of you and think, hey, they're fun. I want to follow them. You know, they know what they're talking about. I must immediately click the follow button. So think about those things. Keep it light, keep entertainment, value, social proof. Okay, first of all, they're the kind of things I want you to start thinking about today. The other thing is your brand, so is your name consistent? Is it the same on Instagram as it is on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever? Because, just stop me, by the way, if you're hiding some of your questions. I'm just, if there's any, because that's really, really important. So if you're like, I don't know, hot wine girl or whatever, just think about maybe changing that to your name. Like, think about how professional you want to look to your audience. And if somebody knows you as Tracy Barker, then let them know you as Tracy Barker with perhaps the same professional picture across all platforms. So going on to the profile picture, and this is massive as well, because the thing is, if you're miles away and your photo and people can't really see you, they're probably not going to stop and look. So think about having a picture like a headshot, which is typically from kind of where I am now up to here. A nice, clean, clear picture, clutter-free, not too many distractions. We have a ring light, which you can get off Amazon, which is brilliant. Actually, I'd probably say maybe even some sort of soft box that you can put over it, because our ring light is quite severe. You can see like the rings in your eyes sometimes. But it's really good. We use it all the time. It's really, really effective. So get yourself a ring light. But make sure that that picture, it can be outdoors, it can be indoors, but what do you want to represent in that profile picture? Perhaps you're quite funny, you might be swigging a bottle of wine, I don't know. You might have you might have a wine in a glass in your picture, or it just might be really fun and nice. But if you've got kids, I'd probably say you can have them in there. That's cool if it's to do with your personal brand, but ultimately I'd probably say make it a nice headshot, smiley, happy, not too sultry, not too sexy, not too, just really like light and fun and approachable, because I think that's kind of, you know, what's going to work best for you. So yeah, going back to that bio, just make sure that you're explaining who you are, what you do, and convey your brand's unique personality. Okay, so be professional, share your passion, and just bring value to your followers. Because if I put a picture up and I don't put a caption with it, which people are like, oh, well, I don't see the point in that. Like, you know, I get more likes if I just put a picture up. Long term, honestly, you've got to have a caption. Like, a great image is not enough on its own. And also it depends what type of business you're in. But for me, I know if I put a picture of me, I'm probably going to get a few more likes, right? But I'm not in the business of a popularity contest, right? And I want my audience to know that I'm providing valuable information to them. Therefore, I won't always have like that picture of me or whatever. So, you know, you might have that picture of a laptop and the books and a little coffee in there, or one day it might be like some sort of picture that inspires you. It might be your work area. It might be you behind the scenes doing something. It might be you at some sort of event. but kind of do it in a way that's not putting it down their throat, like, I'm selling to you, buy my product, buy my services, because people just be like, or they'll just turn off the story notifications for you, because people want to see like things that they haven't seen before. People want to get a little bit of a sneak peek into your life, so they're intrigued by you. So intrigue your audience. Don't kind of be the same person, the same generic person. Like, you know, you always hear it, but your vibe attracts your tribe. It's not uncommon, but it's true. So don't be shy to like just convey your own unique little quirks and personality and things like that. Try not to be generic. Try to put your unique voice behind what you can offer. Because if I went down and was like pitch, people would be like, oh, fuck off, right? But if you're like provoking, you're able to tell stories, you're able to kind of just tell a story, feed that emotion. People buy into emotions, right? So connect with people's emotions, connect with people's stories, and then people are more likely to follow you. And then when you do put some sort of pitch out there, they think, do you know what? I know, like, and trust her. So actually, I'm more inclined to follow her, and I'm more inclined to buy products from her. Okay. Also I went off on a tangent there, but also in your bio, you can have things like where you're from. You could put your relationship if you wanted to, your current location, things like that. But, I would stay on topic and kind of have in there something short and sweet, like, I help X, Y, and Z do da-da-da. So I help entrepreneurs grow their brand online without being a spammy dick, or whatever it is. So you make it unique and direct. I help overweight women lose weight in 3 days. Like, be really niche with actually what you do, so people kind of know how they can engage with you. And really important, know how they can contact you. So many times I see in people's bios, there's no contact information. Like, how are people supposed to get in contact with you? I know there's like an email, there's content slots below, but you really need to be holding that person's hands and giving them really clear instructions on how that they can take action with you. So learn, discover, click here, things like that, and then leading on to a blog or a website or a store. So ultimately, you need to have that call to action, okay? So subscribe, like, comment, check out, get X using my special promo code. Like, these are all highly effective ways of copy and pushing people into the next direction with you, okay? In my personal opinion, Instagram has been a great way for me to convert people to Facebook, because Facebook actually is the predominant platform that we get most of our sales and things like that. So what I often do is I change up the link in my bio, and I test different things out. But giving your audience value first, so providing a freebie, so again, they get to know, like, and trust you first, get them on the emailing list. Whatever it is, try and get those people's emails, okay? Because that's when you can redirect to them. That's when you can reapproach them. They've already bought into something with you. They've already taken that first bite of the carrot. No one ever really, if I'm honest, if it's a cold market, no one really ever clicks on that and goes and buys something from your shop. It doesn't really happen. So what you need to do is you need to build up the curiosity, the value in your post, and then give away something for free. Okay? So it could be a webinar you're hosting. It could be a freebie. It could be a discount code. It could be an ebook. It could be anything like that. And then what I would be encouraging you to do, it's a lot of what we teach in the VIP life, is, and this might be going ahead of its game, but if you say give them a free ebook or discount, they could click through and then you could click through and direct them to a messenger bot on Facebook, and then you could get them in your Facebook group and things like that. So I'm not going to go too much into detail on stuff like that now, but think about how you can use that space to direct them onto the next port of call with you, basically. Another thing in your bio, you could use line breaks just so it reads better. Basically, you've got bite-sized chunks there of information so they can easily digest it, and that enables you also to highlight the most important things to your brand. You can use emojis in there to put in colour and humour and introduce items. If you're not sure how to do the line breaks, you just need to do it on the phone, on your notes in your phone, copy and then paste it into Instagram, because it doesn't work otherwise if you just do it directly in there. Everybody getting this okay? Any questions before I move on to themes?
No, thank you. I was just going to ask you about the line breaks, but you've already answered. So
yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so next is themes and a visual strategy for your Instagram. So the key components of Instagram, right? Getting the bio looking right, getting a visual cohesive feed. So yes, you can have a theme or a consistent filter or whatever it is for your theme. The next is hashtags. The next is getting your captions right. And then the ultimate thing on Instagram is engagement. Engagement is king, right? So always trying to encourage that conversation. But it isn't just you getting comments and likes on your post. Instagram watches your actions. So it watches to see what you're interacting with, what you're liking, what you're commenting on, and that will be shown more on your tabs, on your Explorer page. So if you go into your Explorer page, I could be following exactly the same 100 people as Denny. Exactly the same. But what is shown to Denny in the Explorer tab will be completely different to mine, because it's based on Denny's likes and comments, okay? So Instagram organise everything that you like and interact with, and they base it on that. So the more you engage, the more that you interact, so it's out there interacting with your target audience, the more that they're going to show, you're going to show up in their feed, okay? So don't expect it all to go to you. And I promise you, what will go a massively long way is you taking a few moments out of your day to comment, leaving at least 4 words or more, because anything below that, it doesn't even get recognized in the algorithm, okay? So leaving a love heart, leaving a kiss, all of that stuff, it's pointless. 4 words or more that are relevant to that post, okay? If you do that a few times a day to different people, then they are more likely to A, look at you, follow you back, or the other people engaging on that stuff, particularly if it's a big influencer, are more likely to, again, check you out and look at your stuff. Again, providing the value, okay? That is key on Instagram. Engagement, 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 okay? So, but without doing that, we have to have something, right, that people are going to stop and look at your feed and think, well, she's interesting or he's interesting, I must follow her. And that is where having a theme and strategy in place is absolutely key, okay? People love a visually pleasing Instagram feed. And what I mean by that is cohesive, okay? So don't get your knickers in a twist about it. If you see my feed, like it's a puzzlegram feed, I'll show it to you afterwards. And people are like, I don't have time to do that. Honestly, it's a lot easier than you think. But a couple of simple things that you can do, okay, is 1, consider your background colours or tones and keep them consistent. So if you, for example, if you're thinking about shooting inside photos, just keep your background colours or tones consistent, okay? That's the key. Also, number 2, think about what you want to be, what you want to convey and what you want to be known for, all right? And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. So consistently in my feed, excuse me, too much talking. I was presenting last night and I'm like, ugh. So Yeah, think about what you want to be known for, and think about, you know, how you want to convey that message. So the type of photos you create should be consistent, and they should convey a particular theme. Okay, so you will see lifestyle, as in you'll see pictures of me traveling, pictures of where we've been, you'll see pictures of me working with my husband, because obviously I do, you'll see kids, you'll see makeup, because obviously I present makeup a lot, so that comes in a lot kind of with what I do, and you'll see like motivational stuff and things like that. So kind of think about a plan of action. Actually, we're doing a challenge at the moment, and it's today was all about our brand core values. So it's breaking it down and figuring out what your brand core values are. Okay, and if you're not sure or understand that, you can either join the challenge or Google brand core values, and it will kind of break it down for you. But once you decide what you want to post about, then you'll be able to consistently think. Every 9 to 12 posts, I post about my cat, or every 9 to 12 posts, I post a behind the scenes picture, you know, because it kind of, and then your audience will also know what to expect from you as well. What I'd encourage you all to, hello?
Yeah, no, I was just sorry, I was just getting ready to for you when you said any questions or whatever, to ask you what Zoe's asked, and she said, how would you suggest someone promotes themselves if they have a very genuine fear of social media?
Okay. Tell me more, Zoe. Like, what is your fear of social media? The fear of not being liked, the fear of getting it wrong, the fear of putting yourself out your comfort zone. Like, think about that, and what's the worst that can happen? The absolute worst that can happen. Somebody tells you to F off, or someone tells you that. You don't know them. Like, who cares? And if you do know them, do you really want them to be your friend anyway? Like, do this for you and do it for yourself. If social media isn't the avenue for you, then, you know, it's not for everyone. So do what you're good at. Like, if you're more of an face-to-face person, do that. Like, but if you're genuinely wanting to grow on social media, then I would say, like, you know, create the right mindset. So maybe you know, start listening. I know everyone says this with audios or books or things like that. Like, get the right mentorship and coaching and nourishment and you know, things like that. But also, we all have these roadblocks. We all have the fear of not being liked. We all have the fear of, you know, getting it wrong, all of that stuff. And the difference is, people either push through it, like, people have writer's block. Sometimes I do, and I'm like, being married to Danny, if anybody knows Danny, like, it's really hard work sometimes. Like, he's pretty good. And I'm like, well, how do I even compare myself to that, right? And sometimes it stops me. But the thing is, you either have to get on with it and get over it and just keep going, or you stay there and you procrastinate. And then another year will go past, and another year will go past. And then you'll just get either pissed off with yourself, or you'll give up. So it's kind of like, you've got to just kind of feel the fear and do it anyway, or don't, and just focus on what you're really good at, and stay in your comfort zone. And nothing is wrong with that. Stay in your comfort zone, or don't stay, and nothing's wrong with that. Like, do what makes you happy, I say. So hopefully that is helpful. Okay, so just kind of going back to the theme and things like that, I would say remove any poor quality photos. Think about what you want to convey. Again, do you want that one pissed up night out next to, you know, whatever it maybe that goes with your brand, I don't know. But just think about kind of, if you've got pixelated, or if you're just particularly attached to a picture of your dog, that, you know, or whatever, just kind of archive it. And, you know, you're not deleting it, but just archive it and put it to one side, and then really think about, okay, I'm going to be using this for business. So I want it, you know, I want it to be putting the best impact out there as well. Okay. So just take a look at them as well, because that's kind of what I'd initially say that you need to do. Also use editing software, right? So once you've got either a ring light, or perhaps if you're using natural daylight, you know, and you want to take a picture, for example, of yourself or whatever, stand near a window, you know, have the light coming in on you. Just basic things like that will really, really help. Also, actually, me and Dan just bought, if you're doing like product shots and stuff like that, me and Dan just bought a really cool, and I can drop it in the links afterwards or whatever, a light box. It wasn't really expensive, and it's got like a little hole that's cut out at the top, and you can just take some on your phone or on the camera, take some really cool product shots. So it just looks really, really professional, and you can use like props from around the house. So I don't know, a corkscrew or a blanket, or you might have a nice, I don't know, glass little bowl or ornament or whatever. So get creative, like taking your own imagery as well. Don't just rely on the source of your business, because they might produce really cool pictures, but let's start branding you and getting kind of unique to you. Some apps that I use that I think are really effective when it comes to editing are Lightroom, Photoshop on your phone. All of these are on your phone. VSCO, it's a really big one. A lot of bloggers use that. And Facetune too. I frigging love that app. It's brilliant. So something that I kind of do with a lot of my images is I've developed my own editing sequence. So if you're not somebody that's thinking, oh God, I want to stay like doing like this complicated puzzlegram or whatever, you just start with using a consistent editing sequence, okay? So what I mean by that is I consistently up the brightness and up the contrast and up the saturation. So you get a little bit more of an orange, sounds awful, but a little bit more of an orange hue to my pictures. I don't like airbrush the life out of my pictures or anything like that. If I've got a spot, I probably will remove it. I'm not going to lie. So, you know, just a couple of things like that. But Facetune too is really, really good for that as well. So just think about doing that consistent editing sequence that really doesn't take very long either. I would say to you as well, kind of in theme with the theme, look out for locations and collect props. So whatever or wherever you decide to shoot, just decide if it suits the overall look and vibe of your theme. So perhaps you think, do you know what, I think I'm gonna go for a bit of a blue cool hue tone, or I'm going to go for like, you know, it's really like that orange hue filter sort of look is really popular at the moment. And then you just might see things on your school run or on your daily life that you think, that's really cool, like that'd look really good. Or it might even just be some autumn leaves, or, you know, whatever it is. Just kind of keep your eye out for those things, because it might just match your overall vibe as well. Also, props come in handy when you're trying to tell a story as well. So hopefully that's kind of good with themes. If you want me to talk a bit about hashtags, I can. It's up to you. Are you all good?
I've actually been cheating, and I've got an app that, you know, does my hashtags. So
yeah.
I don't know if there's a better way than that.
Okay. Yes. 100%. So basically, when it comes to apps, the thing is they generate the most popular hashtags, and some software. So for example, Display Purposes is actually a website. It's quite good, and it will generate based on your terms. So you might like put wine, business, entrepreneur, or something like that, like 3 key words into Display Purposes, and it will generate 30 hashtags that are non-spammy or banned or whatever. Sometimes I use that if I'm feeling lazy, but honestly, do your research, because this will hugely pay off. So because they generate like the most popular ones, guess what? You're not going to get seen in the sea of hashtags. Like, it's just not going to do anything. There's no way you can compete against these huge hitting hashtags, right? It's highly unlikely. It might generate a few more likes on your posts, but basically, on the whole, that's probably going to be generated by bots. So people that have bots, hashtag love, hashtag dog, hashtag entrepreneur, whatever, you're going to get a few likes from that, extra likes, but nothing genuine, okay? So it's just a bit pointless. Eventually, you want to get found for that, so it's okay to use some really high-hitting ones, but really think about making this niche to your audience. I'm going to see if actually I can share my phone with you, because I might be able to. Let me just see if I can share my screen on my phone, because I'm going to show something. Okay. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Right. Okay, fine. So, for example, this is one of my accounts. This is Dan and Liz. If I wanted to research like hashtags, what I can do is just go onto the search bar here, and let's put business. Right, okay, hashtag business. Hang on a minute. Okay, so this is how many hashtags that business casual, for example, has. So that's better than using just business. Okay, so it will come up with all of the subcategories associated with that hashtag. So make sure you're scrolling through. This is a different app it's opened up, so you guys might not have that app. Let me just try and get the original Instagram app up. Bear with me a second. Basically, sorry, I'm using a different Instagram. There we go. Okay, cool. So basically, I would say when it comes to like ratio of hashtags to kind of use, think about using anything between 500 and 5,000. Because this is where you're going to get more of a highly engaged audience. Because the more niche the hashtag is, the more likely people are going to find that hashtag and start following you. So don't use like irrelevant hashtags, like as I was saying before, love, happy, dog. You know, really think about what is descriptive in that picture as well. Because when your Instagram recognizes when you're using irrelevant like hashtags as well. So if you've got a picture of, I don't know, you out, I'll just, let me log in. Okay. Okay, I'm in. Okay, yeah, cool. So let's try that again. Oh, it's not coming up with it the same way as I don't know if they've reformatted it. But if you hashtag like business or businesswoman, it might actually come up on my computer if I do it on there. Hold on. Right, let me do a new share with you. Then I can share my screen and I can show you what I mean. If anyone's got any questions while I'm doing this, then give us a shout. Right.
Whenever anyone gets asked about questions, I think they all go shy.
That's all right. Okay.
Liz, I've got a question. It's Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Hi. So you say between 500 and 5,000 hashtags. What, per picture, per post?
Yeah, so you should be able to see here.
How
this
do you,
is it.
how does one manage that?
Sorry, Helen.
How do you physically manage that? I mean, how can you get 500?
Oh no, so I'll show you what I mean. So basically, can you see here, if I use the hashtag business, can you see how many posts it's got here? Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Right. You're going to get lost in a sea of hashtags here. Okay, if you use hashtag business, this is how many hashtags are being used daily. Okay, for this alone. It's huge, okay? So what I would do, and this is what I'd encourage you all to do to create a hashtag strategy, use the notes on your phone, note sections, think about the 9 to 12 categories that we spoke about, and think about creating hashtags for each category, right? So as we know, you can use anything up to 30. The sweet spot now is meant to be about 20, 15 to 20, okay? You don't get penalised for using more, but I would say that's kind of the ratio of what's going on at the moment, okay? But what I would do if I was wanting to create some hashtags, let's do wine. Okay, so wine has got this many hashtags, right? This would be an obvious choice for you, okay? But what I would encourage you to do is just have a look down here. You could maybe use wine, but wino has got far less than wine, for example. But let's get even more niche with it. Let's scroll down. Wine geek. This could be a really good one, right? It's got a lot less. I'm not saying you're going to hit the top 9, but really go through these are all subcategories of wine, of the hashtag word wine. This might take a bit of time to initially do and research and things like that. But once you've got that list, then all you need to do is copy and paste it across. And I would recommend just going through, if you're not getting as much engagement, just go back to that list and see if, new subcategories once a month perhaps, and just kind of see what would be working. So I'm just going to go right down there because there's so many. Wine life could be a good one. Wineries, wine photography, wine rack. Think about all these ones. This is the greatest resource that you could use when it comes to researching hashtags itself. So another thing that you could go is you could go into, say, let's go into wine addict. And you can see this page here on Instagram. This is what we call your top post section. Some of you might already know this, so I'm sorry if I'm kind of repeating the obvious. But the top 9 are posts that Instagram has deemed worthy of being in the top 9 spots. This is different from the Explorer page, okay? The Explorer page tends to be extremely high-hitting accounts that you will see. And again, this is niche and relevant to you and your engagements and your likes and your comments, okay? The top 9 is, yes, based on things like how quickly that account's grown, the use of hashtags, how many interactions they've had on that post, etc., etc. So you're more likely to get spotted in this top 9, and this can last here for quite a few days, okay? So this is how you're gonna grow through hashtags, right? Hopefully this is making sense. What I would say to you guys to do is to think, okay, well, she looks quite good. She's got quite a lot of likes and comments. I'm going to have a look at her. Okay, and let's have a look what she's using. What hashtags is she using? Okay, let's have a look at this. Right, I'm going to copy this list to my notes. Oh, I'm going to copy this list to my notes on my phone, and I'm going to maybe add some of these to my hashtag strategy, okay? Or I might think, women in wine. All right, let's have a look at this. She's using this. This is not something I've used before. Oh, this has got less. This is a bit more niche. And maybe this is maybe this is a better one to use. And then you can kind of have a look at that. And the same goes to competitors as well. Or influencers within your audience. Have a look at them and see what hashtags they're using as well, and seek some inspiration from that. I'm not saying that, even some big influencers in your industry, they might not even know how to use hashtags. So just have a look. And I was saying 5,000 is quite a good, this is obviously a lot higher than that, but 5,000 is a good one for you to be hitting consecutively in your top 9s. Then you can do a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, etc. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So the website that I was telling you about, and this is something that I use sometimes, is display purposes. It looks like this. Is anyone familiar with this?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Business owner. Let's say online, maybe. Okay. No, that's not relevant. So let's just do wine and business owner. Now it's giving you, again, some hashtags that you might not have used before. If you're feeling really lazy, you might just copy it. You could, and paste it and use it. But honestly, I'd probably encourage you to, what I would probably do, if I was going to post, I'll show you a scheduling tool that I use as well, is I might copy that, but I might kind of, I'll show you my scheduling tool because you'll understand a bit more. So this is another thing that I use and I would highly recommend, is Plannerly. Okay, so Plannerly is a scheduling tool for your Instagram. There's several scheduling tools out there. So some of the ones that I recommend is Plannerly, Schedugram, or Later. So one that I'm using, I've used all of them, but I've gone back to Plannerly because I like the fact that I can edit it on my laptop and I can post on my phone and everything syncs harmoniously with each other. Because a lot of the time I'll create my content on my computer and then I'll be posting on my phone. Okay, so for example here, this is the benefit of Plannerly. These posts here are posts that have already gone on my grid. Okay, so these are already on Instagram. These have not yet been posted. Okay, so for example here is a post. I've already uploaded it. I've already got it good to go. I produce my content in bulk, so I'll do 27 posts at a time. I actually create this look using Photoshop, but the same goes if you're wanting to create a grid, say with, sounds like someone's trying to get in my window, really weird. So if you're wanting to create like a grid that's a certain feel and look, but you're not sure if one looks good next to each other, you can simply have a play around with that. So you can go, oh, do you know what, that doesn't look so good there, I'm going to move that. So that's really cool. And the other thing is you can actually save your hashtags. So you can just copy and all of that. And you can write your captions in advance. So I would, like, for example, here, I've already written out something that I think is relevant to that image. Haven't put my hashtags in there yet. But what I would do is if I wanted to put my hashtags in there, I'd 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'd put my hashtags. The reason that I do that, you might see people putting it in the first comments, or you might see people doing it under the 5 dots, or you might just see people with no dots and having it in there. The reason that I do that, yes, it is for aesthetics, but also it breaks it up. It's a little bit easier on the eye. And also what I'd do if I was editing this is very hard to read because it's all bulked together, okay? It's not easy on the eye. So, for example, I would break it up. I would say, where's the full stop? I break it up. I always put 2 in because Instagram's so weird. It, like, sometimes if you just put 1 dot in, it still bunches it up. So I would just, this might not be right, but I would just make sure it's broken up, etc., etc. So just make sure that it is easier on the eye. You could introduce emojis in there and stuff like that as well. The advantage that you've got here, by creating it in advance, you can schedule this out if you wish to go out at a certain time of day or whatever. Personally, I actually don't do that so much. I create my content in advance and I'll create my captions in advance, but I often post in the moment because I want real-time engagement and I want to be able to engage back with my audience. So it performs better on Instagram. So it's cool scheduling, but if you're scheduling and you're not actually there to comment back or answer questions or engage with your audience, then it just won't show up as valuable, okay? Couple of other little tips is always comment back real time as soon as you can, but the next time you go to post on Instagram, leave the love hearts. So just make sure that you are leave the love hearts, and love heart on all of the ones in your last post, because they'll get a reminder, oh, Elizabeth just like that, Elizabeth just like that, and they're more likely to come and look at the post that you've just put out there as well. Another little tip is before posting, optional, but it works. Have a look who's on Instagram, 5 minutes ago, 30 seconds ago, whatever, and engage with their stuff before posting your own, okay? Because again, they're more likely to see, one, your stuff comes up first, and two, they were more likely to come and follow, like engage with your stuff as well. Hopefully that kind of all makes sense. Does anyone have any questions after that?
I've got a ton.
Yeah, go for it.
I thought that was absolutely fantastic, first of all. And Instagram's certainly a platform that, as a team collectively, I guess we're fairly weak on. Just because everyone seems to kind of go with Facebook, and it's like LinkedIn. Some people dabble with LinkedIn, some people dabble with Instagram, and Facebook, I guess, is like the bread and butter of it all, because it's so simple to kind of go on there and post and jump on and whatever. But for me, Instagram is probably the platform that I enjoy using the most, just because you can have so much fun with it. But there's a few questions that I've got, and I'm sure like Thomas Lovett, who's watching this, has just gone straight over his head, because he only just works out where the power button is. One thing that I've looked at, and I've been looking at your profile while we was actually doing the training, it's absolutely fantastic. But there's a lot of leaders out there that use the whole checkered layout. Where is that something that you would advise people to kind of go down the route of, or is that just an option? Because, as I said, like recently, where I've been looking at people's profiles, a lot of leaders within, not just in network marketing, but a lot of leaders on Instagram do talk about like checkered layouts.
Yeah, I'm going to show you. Do you want me to show you some layout options?
Yeah, please.
So basically, okay. So I actually design layouts for people, but I'm going to show you some that I've not designed all of these, but these are kind of ones that I would say, you could perhaps follow this kind of theme. I look really white in this light. I'm like, whoa. So the checkerboard thing, that is something that I used to use as well. The reason why it's quite good, and I'll show you because it's way back in our posts where we used to use it, it's quite good because it breaks it up. So people know what to expect with you. So they'll be like, oh, okay, it's a quote, or, I would say get original. Like, don't always provide it as a quote. You could provide some sort of, again, value, testimonial. For example, we used to like add some humor, or or whatever it is, 7 key factors about the Instagram algorithm, things like that. So you can do that. Honestly, I got a bit bored of it. Just personally, I got a bit bored of it because a lot of people started to do it, and I was kind of like, I'm not sure. And also, you don't get as many likes or comments when you post quotes and when you post like words and stuff like that. So I stopped doing it and I switched to something else. It's worked better for me. Basically what I'm doing now has worked better for me. I think people do it because it's easy to replica. So you will see it a lot. I mean, I do see a lot of people do it. I just think it's for ease, really, because people think, oh, okay, and these kind of things here, you can just design these on Canva. Is everyone familiar with Canva?
I've heard of it, but I've not used it.
Oh, Paul, Canva's like the best thing ever.
When it comes to technology, my skill set is about 0.1.
Right.
I've heard of it because Danny's mentioned it before, so I've definitely dabbled a little, but a very little bit.
Canva's brilliant. If you see like any type of marketing from us, a lot of the time it's done on Canva. So this is like behind the scenes of our Canva, basically. So for example, it's so easy. Let's take this one. This is something for a client like I did a little while ago. So this is an infographic for Instagram. And I just created, like, she wanted this strategically placed in her grid and in her layout, right? So I created it. This is so easy to create. So basically, all you need, this has turned into a Canva lesson, but let's just take this away. It's so easy to play with. So basically, you could decide, okay, this is the correct size for your grid. Actually, let me just do it from the start and then you'll get it. So these are all the social media templates, yeah, you can follow. So this isn't just an Instagram thing, guys. You've got to get on Canva. It's free and it's brilliant. Facebook covers, all of that stuff. If you want to look professional, you need to use this. So for example, if I wanted to design like a square for my grid, well, they already have loads of pre-made templates for a start if you wanted that. And you can just put in there like, Happy Halloween, whatever. If you wanted to just do that, you know, you could. But let's get a bit more personal. So let's say you decide on a brand color that you want to use, yeah? You would go to elements, shapes, like put a square there. This is actually our branding color for the VIP life. It's a pre-made color. If I want to change this color, this is for my Coaching with Liz website colors, but you will get a default color palette here, yeah? So let's say you go for blue, okay? So this is blue, you just need to stretch it out, done. But you think, oh, do you know, I don't really like that blue, it's a bit generic. Then you can just go here and change the color. So make it unique to your brand, right? So let's go for, yeah, let's kind of go for that color, okay? There you go. Then you're just going to go to text. Loads of complementary text that go together here, or you can just add your own. Make it bigger. Like this. Obviously, you change that text accordingly. And then I'm going to upload, I'm going to put our logo in there. And again, you can design a logo pretty easy in here as well. But let's just, there you go. And then, say that, right, there you go. There's my infographic. Now say you want to make a few of them, yeah? Yeah. Oh, don't want to go through that all over again. Just copy it. Change the wording. Done. Whatever, you know, whatever. You've got the same writing, you've got your logo in the same place, super professional. Download to PNG. That downloads directly to your desktop. Open up your Plannerly. Oh. Right, where have you gone? Downloads. Okay, cool. Open up Plannerly, and I'm literally just going to drag and drop it into my Plannerly. There you go. Easy, right?
Brilliant, excellent.
And then, you know, write your thing. You've got your hashtags already. But, you know, I mean, obviously it's not the right wording, but that's pretty cool, right? And then, you know, you've got your consistent branding. That's the way. And then you might find, I'm going to blow you mind. You might go to, have you ever heard of the image site Unsplash?
No. Clearly, we're really lacking here, Liz.
So this is a great free image resource site. Unsplashed, it's my fave. So let's go in here, wine. Here's a cool picture of wine that you can use for free. Here's one. Look at all these. Look at this. This is a nice one. This is going to go with my branding. So I'm going for an orange palette, yeah? So I'm going to download this image. You can give credit to the artist if you wish. Don't form all your social media with stock images because it looks unauthentic, but it's okay to create. So here we go. Can you see that? It's uploading. This is how you're going to start creating a visual palette. Okay, so we've now got this image. Now it's not right. This is important as well, because can you see that the format is not a square format? Yeah. And you don't want that. That's a major error. Okay, don't make sure they're all in the correct square format. Okay, because then it looks weird. It looks slightly out of key, or if you're going for that look, cool. But I'm not. So just before you upload that, just make sure it's square format. Okay. So again, if you're not sure, you could just go to Canva. You can edit it on your phone anyway, pretty easily, onto the square dimensions. Okay. So yeah, just make sure that that's, I'm not going to do it now, but make sure that's correct. But ignore the rest of this feed. Can you see how I'm creating a theme there?
Yeah.
I've seen something with the orange hue. I've got this. I think they look quite nice together. Let's say you've got a picture of you. You can use the app VSCO for ease sake. You know, again, let's think about the emotions that we want to provoke. So what you know, you guys sell joy, right? So what provokes joy? Think about it. What provokes joy? You might even just use these as inspiration as well, not use the images, but that's joy. Do you know what I mean? That's joyful. That's happy. She's got some colours here that suit your branding. Here's joy. Maybe you could spend a day, that's joy, an ice cream. So then it might think, oh, an ice cream. Yeah, that's joy. Obviously weather dependent, you know, it's probably, think about the season that you're in. Also, that's another point, Halloween, think about that might be cool as well. Talk about Halloween, you know, because it is Halloween. Be relevant to what month you're in as well. So yeah, and then obviously make sure you're putting pictures of yourself in and your kids and, you know, what have you, and stuff like that. Yes, so that will really help you. I'm getting carried away now. I'm thinking, okay, so this feed, so for me, this would look good. Because it's light again, you know, it's kind of, let's have a look. Is this all making sense to everyone?
It's exciting. Because I could listen to this literally for hours, and to be honest, I'll probably contact you after this just to speak to you, because as I said, I could talk for hours about this. But
yeah.
It is, as I said, it's so exciting just listening to everything that you've said tonight and the different apps and how it all comes together. Because again, I think when people are not social media savvy, or when they don't use Instagram, it is probably just the case again of going onto Instagram, uploading a picture, putting a few bits and pieces and coming back off it again, or going on there and just hashtagging the crap out of it. And one thing that I didn't know, which was really interesting tonight to hear you say, was to use hashtags that are lower. Because again, what I try and do with my own personal page is every day I'll try and get a fitness, something to do with fitness on there, whether it's something to do with my workout, something to do with wine, an exotic picture of a luxurious location, maybe a food picture. But for the fitness one, I'll always put FitFam, you know, and that's got 83 million hashtags or whatever. Again, when it comes to food, it's the typical foodie, food pick, food lover. So that was something interesting that I picked up tonight. But the fact that we've been on for like an hour and 5 minutes or so, and everyone's still on as well. So it's it's obviously something that people are really interested in.
Good.
And I think, again, because it's different, it's not Facebook, because it's very easy to get bored on Facebook, or people go on Facebook and they scroll through it. But, you know, you can tell that you take time building your brand, and you can see that you can take time with the post, and you actually think about what you're posting and actually what you're writing as well. And I think this, as I said, this is something that we haven't touched on. And I think even like the network marketing profession in general, I think, you know, they could, you know, they could build their own brand and their own businesses so much more effectively if they took the time to think about what they're posting and the words that they're posting as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because like the thing is, you might be at an event or somewhere, and it's cool. Like, it's okay to post on the fly, but honestly, I would use your stories for that. Like, I could go in a whole nother training about this. Like, use your stories. Keep your Instagram feed like a glossy magazine spread. Like, make it really interesting and appealing, but then use your stories, because you can post as much as you like on your stories to like get fun engagement. Make sure you're using 11 hashtags on your stories as well. Like, that's the amount you can use. And what I recommend to people, because you don't want 11 hashtags all over the place, shrink it down so you can't see it. And it's still searchable for those hashtags, but people can't see all these annoying hashtags everywhere. Yeah, I would definitely say that. You can, I mean, you guys can see here what I've just created there. And this is worked well. If I had this next to each other, it doesn't look as good, does it? Because it's like a bit cumbersome. It's not, so that's why it's kind of good to break it up and think about what you're placing next to each other as well, just so it looks easy on the eye.
The only other question that I've got, because I'm very cautious of your time as well tonight.
Don't worry.
Would you recommend, or is there a book or a certain training video portal about Instagram that you would suggest? Or, you know, how did you learn what you've learned on Instagram?
Go to my site. So this is my website. So this is Coaching with Liz, and I have courses on here. I do challenges. I haven't done one for a little while. We're doing a branding challenge at the moment, and I'm going to cover bios and themes and stuff like that. It's not too late to jump on that. We started today. It's a 10-day challenge, and we basically teach you to transform your social media. So if you're interested in that, then I can send you the link for that. These are the courses that I do as well. So I have an online 6-step program with me. So you've got a guide there, my book, all one-to-one coaching, growth. I grow people's accounts and do the visuals and all stuff like that as well. So, or whatever, or join the VIP life and you get all of this and so much more as well, loads of stuff. But we teach all of this stuff in the VIP, so it's cool.
Fantastic, brilliant. Now, as I said, I could ask questions all night, but again, it's like your time and everyone else's.
That's cool. No, not to worry.
Has anyone else got any questions that they want to ask Liz before we finish up tonight?
I'd like to say how good you are, even though I couldn't follow you 100%, but you were so interesting, I couldn't leave the screen.
Thank you.
That's good. Thank you. Bless you. Well, if anyone's got any questions and they're not sure what the hell I'm talking about, then, you know, just drop me a message, find me on Facebook. I'm just trying to get off this blooming share of my screen. I'm not that social media savvy, am I? I can't even get off this. So yeah, thank you again for sticking around. I know it's like really late at night now. It is here in the UK anyway. So thank you. Friend request me, give me a holler. Let me know if you're struggling. You can join our free group, The Free Life. And yeah, just thanks for having me.
Brilliant. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for Denny for setting this up tonight. You're definitely going to get some engagement. I know that for certain. We're going to get the recording up into our main group as well, so you'll get a lot of people watching it back. But for me, that's one of the most interesting trainings that we've done all year, and we've gone like every week since March. So appreciate you taking the time out to join us tonight.
No worries.
So I will get the recording up as soon as we finish, so give me 10-15 minutes or so. But again, Liz, thank you so much for that, some unbelievable information, and I'll send you a message either tonight or tomorrow to like link up. But Denny, appreciate you setting that one up as well. Tomorrow night we've got our call with the president, so the president's call at 8:30, and then Wednesday night we've got our opportunity call at 8:30 again. Hopefully we'll get some dates about this bloody wine, but we're nearly there. It's been a long road, but we're getting there. So appreciate everyone jumping on, appreciate everyone staying on. I will get the link up in the group. Enjoy the rest of your evening, what's left of it, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Thank you and good night.
Bye.
Thank you, Liz.
Thanks, Lizzie. That's great. Thanks.
Liz.